Alpha male in relationships. A man could be called an alpha male if he never has problems with his relationships or his sense of self worth. But it can be hard to picture him in a relationship sometimes. How does he behave in one? What does he hope to get out of it? What about the way he acts? This video will give you a general overview of alpha males in relationships and hopefully tell you everything you need to know about them. Just one more thing before we go any further. Don't freak out if you're not doing everything in your relationship. You don't have to do these things if your relationship is going well. Just remember them and use them as a guide to help you make yours better. But before we start our video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Here are 5 examples of how alpha males act in relationships. 1. He has an abundance mentality. One of the most significant distinctions between an alpha male and a typical guy is that an alpha male maintains an abundance attitude even after entering into a romantic partnership. When the average Joe rushes into a relationship, it's because he can't stand to be alone. The alpha male rushes into a relationship because he's already found the girl that he wants to be his girlfriend. The most notable distinction between them is that the first guy is desperate for the female, while the second just wants her. When an alpha male decides to become exclusive with a woman, yes, he generally is the one making that decision, he enters into this relationship with a particular perspective. He is aware that he has a lot to offer and is not in it to obtain anything in return for his efforts. This indicates that he is not with his girlfriend because he requires something from her in order to fulfill some demand of his own. He is involved because he has discovered a companion with whom he can share his life. And he is aware that there are other women available to him in the event that things do not go well with one of the girls for whatever reason. And because he doesn't linger on the one that got away, he won't be as negatively affected by the loss as some other guys might be under similar circumstances. This does not by any means imply that he views the relationship as something trivial. It's just not in his nature to look at women as though they were rare. Even yet, he worries about it just as any other man would. Number 2, he leads a life of his own. When in a relationship, men frequently make the error of giving all of their time, attention, and interest to the woman they're dating, rather than continuing to pursue their previous interests and passions. After she enters the picture, everything else had to be abruptly dropped, and she became the focus of the attention. Before they had a girlfriend, they were busy with their own lives, their friends, and hobbies. But after she enters the picture, everything else had to be dropped, and she became the center of attention. Even when he is in a committed relationship, the alpha male is never at a loss for things to do. He is responsible for his own obligations and must be in other areas. Just because he acquired a partner does not mean that he will immediately give up everything. It is not necessary for him to have her company in order to have a good time because he will always make time for his other friendships. In point of fact, he divides his time evenly between his girlfriend and his other buddies. I hope you've getting something out of this message. This is the end of part 1. Look for part 2. Alpha male in relationships, part 2. Number 3, he isn't hoping for a girlfriend to define him. When a man enters into a romantic partnership, he will typically undergo transformation, either for the better or for the worse, depending on what kind of girl he's dating. The issue at hand is that a significant number of males lack a solid comprehension of their own identities. They have the expectation that once they meet a girlfriend, she will provide a definitive answer for them. They feel as though they are wandering aimlessly through life and have placed their faith in their spouse to show them the way. When a man in a committed relationship looks to his girlfriend for the definition of who he is as a person, he places himself in a position of dependence on his girlfriend. This will work against you in the long run when she realizes that he is no longer worth her time and decides to walk away from the relationship. Because of this, he will have the impression that he has just lost his identity and his purpose. It will drive him to an extreme level of desperation to either win her back or find another female to replace her so that he may reclaim what he has lost. Because of this, many guys have a lot to gain by observing an alpha male. There is not much a woman can do to modify his perception of who he is because he is already well aware of who he is. Even if he eventually follows her advice when he realizes that she can direct him to a more beneficial course of action, the choice to do so is his. It will never occur to an alpha male who is the initiator of a relationship that he needs someone else to define who he is as a person for him. 4. Being the one to make the decisions. Simply said, women want a man who can make decisions. If a guy can't make a simple decision on his own and always has to rely on his girlfriend to make the final call, ultimately, she will start to lose attraction for him. If a guy can't make a simple decision on his own and always has to rely on his girlfriend to make the final call, even when he is really attempting to be pleasant and considerate, women frequently perceive it as a sign of weakness on his part. The man with the plan is always someone who is an alpha. His partner is well aware that she can put all of her trust in him when it comes to making difficult choices. When it comes time for them to make a choice, she will invariably consult with him first, and he will ultimately have the last word. This does not imply that he fully disregards her point of view. Even while he takes into account the viewpoint of a woman in every situation, when it comes to making essential phone calls, he doesn't think twice about doing so. 5. He is not a coward or a pushover. Many guys in committed relationships are weak in the spine, always getting in her way. The woman is the one who makes all of the significant decisions sometimes, even for them, and is the one who is in charge. These guys simply do not know when to take a position and when to properly utilize the word no in appropriate situations. Because they are afraid of making a woman angry, they will stop at nothing to avoid getting into a conflict with her. The alpha man is not scared to say what's on his mind and will not back down from an argument with his partner. When it is clear that his girlfriend is playing a test on him, he does not hesitate to react appropriately and make it abundantly plain that he does not tolerate her conduct. Even while she might not like it now, she will respect him more in the long run for doing it. To sum everything up, these 5 straightforward suggestions illustrate the manner in which an alpha guy would conduct himself in his relationship with a lady. At the end of the day, it's important to remain yourself and not change for the sake of pleasing another person. Don't give up who you are in order to please them, because if they give up on you, you will end up throwing away everything you own. Alter not because she might expect you to, but because you need to, because you desire it, because it is necessary for you. Thank you for watching. We hope that these 1 and 2 videos will be very helpful for you. Share your views in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for the latest updates, always look for us.